In this video, I'm going to show you how to create one of these macrame stars, which look lovely as a hanging decoration for your tree, or you could add as a gift topper, which can then be used afterwards to hang up on your tree. Or if you leave your cord really long, you can hang them perhaps in a window. They'd look quite nice arranged, perhaps in a 3 in your window. You could even wrap some floral lights in there, the ones that are designed to go on wreaths, etc. A little battery light, and you could hang them in your window. So really simple craft, really easy. So let's get started. So getting started, you may want to secure your star in place to begin with. So there's a couple of options. You can use a placemat or a cork pin board and some pins, and just pin 2 of your points down, or maybe 3. You do need to be able to lift this side as you are knotting, but some people find that it's quite helpful to pin it down. An alternative is to just tape your star with some sellotape down to a flat surface across 2 of the points, or some masking tape, because then you can manipulate it a little bit easier without the pins coming out. I personally don't use either. I like to be able to pick up and move the star, but it's up to you. So once you have decided how you're going to do it, you need to remove your cord from your bobbin. You've got 3 meters of macrame cord here, which should be plenty to cover the star, and then also some extra for hanging. Once you've folded your cord in half, you're going to position it. You have half on the inside of the star and the other half on the outside, and we're going to call this strand A on the inside and strand B on the outside, to make it a little bit easier for us. So we're going to start with strand A, and we're just going to make a loop. Hold it, the loop pointing into the middle of the star, pinching it together with your finger and thumb. They're going to take strand A, and this is going to go over strand B, holding onto it with your right hand, and then it's going to go underneath the frame of the star. Now this is why some people like to pin their star down. I'm just going to hold the frame with my fingers under there. So I'm taking the strand over the loop that I've created, and then back under this star frame. I'm then going to, so we've gone over the loop, under the star frame. I'm then going to thread the cord inside loop B. This is very tricky to do whilst keep on camera as well. The first couple of knots are a little bit fingers and thumbs and tricky, but after that you will soon be flying. And then you're going to pull that cord all the way through. So to recap, we made a loop, which is loop B. We've taken strand A over the top of that loop, underneath the star frame, and then through loop B, and pulled all the way through. And it's at this point that you can let go of your loop, and you need to pull strand A and B to tighten the knot. So as you're tightening it, let me zoom in a little bit more. As you are tightening it, you will see this is the shape that you're creating. So loop B is going to make a U shape, and strand A is going to make a diagonal line across the top. So as you pull those nice and tight, you will be looking for a U shape and a diagonal line. And you're going to pull the strands nice and tight and push it up into the point of that star. And then we're going to repeat that again. So it's a loop with strand B, and then take strand A over the loop, under the star frame, and through that loop that you've created. It is easier to hold on to this loop B with your right hand as you're doing it, and then I'm just going to pull that long bit of cord strand A all the way through until I've got a loop. Now my loop has gone all the way around under this wireframe, so I'm just going to pull that. Okay, now it's ready to tighten again. We're looking for that U-shape, not U-sheep, U-shape and diagonal line. I'm just going to pull both ends. You can see it's making another knot. As I'm doing this, they will kind of slide down your wireframe. You need to pull the ends, give them a really good tug and push the knots together. So we don't want to see this wireframe, we want to cover all of that up. So one way that you can remember what you are doing is to kind of repeat to yourself the steps. So in your instruction booklet that came with the kit, I have said loop B, A over, as we're going, oops, I've moved the camera, sorry. So loop B, A over, under, and through. Over, A, over, under, through, and pull. And we create that lovely knot shape again. Now, as you can see, as I was pulling that, it's beginning to twist. So you want to keep those U shapes on the inside. So it will naturally want to kind of twist. You want a nice line of diagonal lines coming all the way along. So if I show you on this finished one, you can see diagonal line, diagonal line, diagonal line. You can see the ridges as they go around, and you can see the bumps of the U shapes on the inside. So we have all these little U shapes on the inside and all the diagonal lines making a chord almost on the top of the star. That's what we're aiming for. So I'm going to do that again from a bit further away. Now the reason that I like to not pin mine down is because I like to move my hands around as I'm doing it. So I'm going to loop loop B, and then I'm going to hold it with that thumb there. I find that easier. And then A goes over, under, through, pull. And then we're going to tighten it. Keep pushing it up to that wire as well. Now we're getting to a corner here, and the knot is exactly the same all the way around, but when you get to a corner you want to make sure that you are positioning it nicely. So I'm going to make my loop, loop B, loop A strand A goes over. I'm going to hold my loop there because I find it easier. Over the loop, under the star, through the gap, and then pull. Now because it's on a corner here, I want to make sure the diagonal line sits nicely and we don't have that wire showing. So I'm just going to manipulate the knot by using my fingers and my fingernails, pulling it so that filled all of that one side. And then we just carry on around the corner. Loop, over the loop, under the loop, through the loop. Now you can see the first one on the next line, the ridge is sticking up quite a bit. So this is where you need to manipulate it so it's lying nice and flat around that corner. You get a smooth edge, and to be honest, the more that you do, they all bunch up and it will just look lovely. So you're going to continue that as you go around, just looping B and then taking strand A over the loop, under the frame, and then through the loop and pull. It's exactly, once you've mastered that knot, it's exactly the same all the way around. So I'm going to continue all the way around my frame, and then I'm going to show you how to finish at the end. So when you have finished doing all of your knots, just simply do a slip knot with your cords at the top, and then you can cut your yarn and tie it into a knot to hang on a tree or you may want to leave your cords longer if you're going to hang it from a window. Or if you are going to attach it as a gift topper, you may want to leave it a bit longer until you have finished, and then can cut the ends off. I just wanted to point out that as you can see on this one, it's not quite finished yet, because this is the back, and you will see more of the wire frame through the back. But as I go to hang this one up, you can see there's quite a bit of wire still poking through there. So what needs to be done on this one is to just move all of the knots around the points, really bunch them up because it's not been bunched up enough to cover up all of those wire bits, and then you should be able to add in a couple of more knots on there. You don't want to be able to see the wire poking through, so you need to really bunch up those knots, particularly in the corners. So just double check that before you knot and cut off your cords, because you don't want to do it too soon and then realise that yeah, you can see the wire frame. That's not going to look as good. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I would love to see any of the makes that you create, so please share them with me on social media.